Fannie Lou Hammer. She was a famous civil rights and voting rights activist in her time. She is most known for co-founding the Mississippi Freedom Democratic Party in 1964. She led an initiative in the summer of 1964 called Freedom Summer. This program brought hundreds of college students, both black and white, to help with African American voter registration in the segregated South. Fannie Lou's early life was not pleasant. Born in 1917 as the 20th child of sharecroppers, she grew up poor and started picking cotton with her family when she was 6 years old. In 1944, she underwent surgery for a tumor, and a white doctor performed a hysterectomy without her consent. Such forced sterilization of black women to reduce the black population was so widespread, it was dubbed a Mississippi appendectomy. Hammer attended meetings led by civil rights activist James Foreman of the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee. Fannie was angered by efforts of the denial of blacks the right to vote. She was led to be an organizer. On August 31st, 1962, she led 17 volunteers to register to vote at a courthouse in her hometown in Mississippi. They were denied the right to vote due to an unfair literacy test. The group was harassed on their way home. When police stopped their bus, they fined them $100 for the trumped-up charge that the bus was too yellow. That night, she was fired from her job for her attempt to vote, and much of her family's property was confiscated. The Hammers moved to Ruralville, Mississippi, and Sunflower County with very little. In 1964, she announced her candidacy for the Mississippi House of Representatives, but was barred from the ballot. A year later, Hammer, Victoria Gray, and Annie Devine became the first black women to stand in the U.S. Congress when they unsuccessfully protested the Mississippi House election of 1964. She also traveled extensively, giving powerful speeches on behalf of civil rights. In 1971, Hammer helped to found the National Women's Political Caucus. Fannie, fed up with voting inequality and the road bump she was facing, she decided to make change for blacks in another area. She became interested in economics. In 1968, she started a pig bank to provide free pigs for black farmers to breed, raise, and slaughter. Fannie started the Freedom Farm Cooperative, buying up land so black farmers could farm collectively. With the assistance of donors, she purchased 640 acres and launched a coupe store, boutique, and sewing enterprise. She single-handedly ensured that 200 units of low-income housing were built. Many still exist in Ruralville today. The FFC lasted until the mid-1970s, and in its heyday, it was among the largest employers in Sunflower County. Extensive travel, fundraising took Hammer away from the day-to-day operations, and as did her failing health, and she ended up dying of breast cancer in 1977. Fannie Lou Hammer is an icon in the voting rights movement and to the overall civil rights movement because she spent most of her life fighting for equality for African Americans. She made a difference in her local and regional areas, and that should be most highlighted and celebrated.
All right. Amen.